Myself, Dr. Shilpa Saste, pediatric physiotherapist working in KEM hospital since last 15 years. Today, I'm going to talk about red flag signs and primitive reflexes, which are important for early identification of developmental delay and any neurological damage. Before going for red flag signs, we'll see next. What is normal development? Normal development varies from child to child. 1 or 2 months of variation in the development is acceptable. Some children start walking by 1 year, some will start by 14 months. So that much variation is acceptable in the normal development. Child experiences countless changes as he grows up. But these changes depend on the amount and quality of stimulation. Example, child in a joint family will develop in a better way than in a nuclear family. Or child who gets more environmental exposure will develop faster. And the good example already given by Dr. Sudha Chaudhary Madam is that of the adopted child. So more the stimulation, better is the development of the child. What is normal development? It is a complex process and has multiple facets. Gross motor development, fine motor development, personal and social development, language, vision, and hearing. We'll see key gross motor developmental milestones. By 3 months, child starts neck holding. By 5 months of age, child starts rolling over. By 6 months, child sits in a tripod fashion with his own hand support. By 8 months, child sits without support. By 9 months, child starts standing, holding on with support. By 12 months, child creeps well, walks but falls, and stands without support. Here, the word creeps means actually crawling on all 4 limbs. By 15 months, child walks alone and creeps upstairs. That means he crawls on stairs. By 18 months, child starts running, explores drawers. By 2 years, child walks up and down stairs 2 steps and starts jumping. By 3 years, child starts riding tricycle and alternate feet going upstairs while climbing. By 4 years, child starts hopping on one foot and alternate feet going downstairs. Now, key social and adaptive milestones are: by 2 months, social smile should be there. By 3 months, child recognizes mother and anticipates feed. By 6 months, child recognizes strangers, and here the stranger anxiety develops. By 9 months, child waves bye-bye. By 12 months, child comes when called and plays simple ball game. By 15 months, jargon starts. By 1.5 years, child copies parents in tasks. Imitation starts. By 2 years, child asks for food, drink, toilet, and pulls people to show toys. By 3 years, child shares toys, knows full name and gender. By 4 years, child plays cooperatively in a group, goes to toilet alone. And by 5 years, child helps in household tasks, dresses and undresses. Detailed fine motor developmental milestones we are going to see tomorrow. So these are general guidelines to detect developmental delay. So these key points for developmental milestones which should be kept in mind while assessing the child's development. Now, we'll go for red flag signs. Red flag signs for 0 to 3 months are asymmetry of neck. Some asymmetry of neck is acceptable by 2 months of age. After that, child is able to take his neck in midline position for quite a longer period. But if asymmetry persists, we should check for neck muscle tightness. Extensor thrust. By 1 month of age, child has the ability to lie down flat on the surface. Because of extensor thrust, there is arching of neck and back muscles, and child is not able to lie flat on the back. Cortical thumb. Cortical thumb itself is a characteristic sign of neurological damage. Even a newborn baby has fisted hands, but the thumb is out. And the important thing is baby can intermittently open his hands. But in cortical thumb, the thumb is inside and hands are tightly fisted. Floppy baby. Here the baby is unable to move his limbs at all. There is no movement against gravity in supine position. Head lag. Head control should be developed by 3 months, as we have already discussed. No social smile, auditory and visual deficits. Now, red flag signs for 3 to 6 months are delayed development as per age. By 6 months, child should roll over, proper weight bearing on hands should be there, child should pivot in prone and start creeping, should sit when made to sit. We should observe any delay in this development for the 6 months of age. Extensor thrust. Because of arching of neck and back, child continuously throws himself backwards and there is no flexion against gravity. This leads to difficulty in rolling, midline orientation of hands, and affecting creeping. Cortical thumb, then abnormal reach and grasp. The abnormal reach, whenever child reach for object, there is adduction internal rotation pattern of the hand and with fisted hand. This is a classical sign of athetoid cerebral palsy, which is seen in dystonic children. Presence of primitive reflexes. If primitive reflexes don't get disappear by proper age, that is a red flag sign. Lack of midline orientation of hands. If there is shoulder girdle retraction, midline orientation of hands gets affected. And because of lack of midline orientation, there is no hand regard, which should appear by 12 weeks to 20 weeks. Body image gets affected. Unilateral weakness. We should observe for unilateral weakness by 6 months while reaching for objects. The child uses only one side of the body for every movement. We should observe that child should roll from both the sides. If while creeping, he is taking weight bearing on only one side and creeping. If child doesn't use weak side, there is affection of body image. That is, that side gets neglected and there is no equal weight bearing on both sides. So unilateral weakness, we should observe during every movement. Abduction and external rotation of limbs, usually seen in hypotonic babies. Auditory and visual deficits. Excessive cry, irritability, and disturbed sleep. These are important signs which should be reported to concerned pediatrician. And important thing is lack of eye contact. The lack of social smile and lack of eye contact are major red flag signs which should be kept in mind for early detection of autism spectrum disorder. This is fisted hand. Thumb is inside the palm and tightly fisted. Cortical thumb. Now here, microcephaly and overlapping of sutures is there. There is no midline activity of hands and hands are tightly closed. This is stoop sitting. Here, because of no co-contraction of neck muscle, there is no proper head control. Trunk stability is not there because of severe hypotonia and no weight bearing on hands at all. In such cases, we provide truncal orthosis or braces as per the child's requirement. This is extensor hypertonus. As already explained, arching of neck and back muscles. And because of this, midline orientation of hands, rolling, prone development, and creeping gets affected. Asymmetric tonic neck reflex. It should integrate by 6 months of age. Otherwise, the child's prone development and midline activities gets affected. Now, red flag signs for 6 to 9 months are delay in acquiring independent sitting and inability to use variety of sitting positions. By 8 months, child is able to sit on his own and sits without support. Sits in different positions, like he can sit in a small chair, sit without his hand support, inside sitting position, sitting on a small stool. So proper sitting balance is developed. Persistent W sitting, I'm going to explain it little later. Scissoring, this is because of adductor muscle tightness, unilateral weakness, no stranger anxiety, adduction, internal rotation of shoulder and hip. This is W sitting. So persistent W sitting leads to tendo-Achilles muscle tightness, hamstring tightness, because child always sits with his legs backwards, which affects the crawling pattern, proper standing pattern, and thereby affecting the gait of the child. Child will start developing toe standing and toe walking because of persistent W sitting, and there is no dissociation during crawling. This is scissoring because of adductor muscle tightness, again affecting sitting posture, standing and walking pattern. Child will not be able to take proper stepping while gait. Now, red flag signs for 9 to 12 months are strong positive support reaction. Strong positive support reaction should integrate by 7 to 8 months. If it persists more than that, whenever child stands, he will stand on his toes and cannot be able to put his foot flat on the ground. So TA tightness develops and thereby affecting standing and walking pattern. Then transitions and the versatility. 9 to 12 months is a period where child starts variety of movements. Child is able to sit from supine position, can grow into crawling from sitting position, can come to stand from crawling or sitting. So there are many transitory movements he should be able to do. And the versatility means ability of the child to adapt these changes. Transitory movements occurs because of flexion extension control of the movements, which gives rise to rotational component of the movement. These are the prerequisites for transitory movements. The rotational component is most important during the transitory movements. We see the child by 9 months, he is sitting, he is crawling well, and he is standing if made. He is sitting if made, and he sits without support. But we cannot say the child is developed normally because he is not able to sit on his own. He is not able to go into crawling position or not able to stand on his own. So in normal development, we should look for transitions also. Now, orthopedic problems like unequal limb length, foot abnormalities, knock knees, bow knees, spinal curvatures like scoliosis, increased lumbar lordosis. Now, total high guard and absence of high guard. When 9 to 12 months, by 1 year, child starts standing with or without support. So initially, child's position while balancing himself is total high guard. This is a protective measure for balancing. Whenever the child's balance gets improved, slowly the hands come down and then he keeps his hands by the side of the body.
Shilpa, people are complaining about audio.
Okay, ma'am.
I don't know why. Just ask if everybody can hear.
Everybody can hear?
You are audible, clearly audible.
Okay. This
Yes,
is
yes,
so.
ma'am. Clearly.
Okay. You want anything to repeat?
No, go ahead.
No, not required.
Okay, thank you. This is toe standing, which can lead to child is standing on completely on his toes, which can lead to toes TA tightness and knock knees. Knees are internally rotated, so no equal weight bearing on the feet and wrong pattern of standing and walking. This is bunny hopping. Here, the child is hopping with both the legs together. There is no pelvic femoral dissociation and no alternate pattern. And there is no alternate pattern of crawling, which is very important to learn walking. So because of bunny hopping, again there is hamstring tightness, TA tightness, and standing and walking pattern gets affected. Bottom shuffling. Here, instead of crawling, the child is moving in sitting position. So there is no pelvic and shoulder girdle stability, and this is seen usually in hypotonic babies. Now, red flag signs for 12 to 18 months are by 12 to 18 months, usually child starts standing with or without support and walking with or without support. So we should look for mainly posture, gait, and base of support while walking. The red flag signs mainly are persistent wide base of support, hemiplegic or hemiparetic gait, ataxic gait, persistent toe walking, persistent scissoring, and deterioration in gait, which is usually seen in neuroregression. Here, child is walking with support and persistent toe walking is there. This is a spastic quadriplegic child. So as you are seen, the child is walking on toes. Few days back, she had undergone a Botox therapy to release her hamstring and TA. Now next video. Here she is walking with hand support, but the walking pattern is not better. She is walking with toe walking and scissoring. There is no proper balance, no trunk stability. She is using her all muscles for taking steps. Lot of efforts for taking steps. So these are the red flag signs which are never seen in normal development at any stage. So these signs are a guide for early identification. Presence of 2 or more red flag signs needs referral for therapy. Now we are going to see primitive reflexes. Primitive reflexes are present at birth, since utero only at birth, but they should integrate at proper time. If persists, there is again a early referral should be there for therapy. Primitive reflexes are the inborn behavioral patterns that develop during uterine life. They should be fully present at birth and are gradually inhibited by higher centers in the brain during the first 3 to 12 months of postnatal life. Reflexes which are essential at birth are sucking, swallowing, blinking, defecating, urinating, hiccuping. These are necessary at birth. Under normal developmental conditions, these reflexes represent important reactions of the nervous system and are only observable within a specific period of time over the first few months of life. These reflexes are normally present from birth and are part of a normal newborn evaluation. A normally developing newborn should respond to certain stimuli with these reflexes, which eventually become inhibited as the child matures. Why neonatal reflexes needs to be assessed? Most primitive reflexes begin to occur in utero through the early months of child's postnatal life. These are then replaced by voluntary motor skills. When these reflexes are not inhibited, there is usually a neurological problem. In those individuals with cerebral palsy and neurogenic dysphagia, the presence of primitive reflexes is a characteristic. Now the reflexes are classified into 5 groups: automatic reflexes, spinal cord reflexes, brainstem reflexes, midbrain reflexes, and cortical level reflexes. We'll go for automatic reflexes. Moro reflex. It begins at 28 weeks of gestation and gets integrated by 5 to 6 months of age. Usually, the response observed is the shoulders abduct, elbows, wrists, and fingers extended, and subsequently followed by the shoulder adduction and the elbow finger flexion. Any asymmetry during this response may indicate a brain lesion or peripheral nerve problem to the upper extremity. This is Moro reflex testing position. The response is like this, followed by adduction, internal rotation, and elbow flexion and wrist flexion. Landau reflex. It begins at 3 to 4 months of age and gets integrated by 1 to 2 years. It breaks up the total flexion pattern seen at birth and the extension against gravity in prone starts developing. Gallant reflex. It begins at 32 weeks of gestation and gets integrated by 2 months, though it may persist in atypical children. It is often seen with children with athetoid CP, where there is asymmetry in trunk muscles. Parachute reflex. It is a protective reflex. It starts developing by 6 months and it is a lifelong reflex is there. It is mainly protective reaction of the body to prevent fall. Now spinal reflexes, flexor withdrawal reflex, extensor thrust, palmar grasp, plantar reflex, sucking reflex, rooting reflex, and primitive walking. Flexor withdrawal reflex since at birth and integrates by 2 months. Extensor thrust, present at birth and gets integrated by 4 months. Sucking reflex, it begins at 28 weeks of gestation and gets integrated by 2 to 5 months. Persistence of this reflex may inhibit voluntary sucking and oromotor issues and feeding issues may develop. Rooting reflex, it begins at 28 weeks of gestation and gets integrated by 3 months. Persistence of rooting reflex can interfere with sucking. Absence of this is seen in neurologically impaired infants. This is rooting reflex. Palmar grasp, it begins at 20 weeks of gestation, 10 weeks of gestation, and gets integrated by 4 to 6 months. Following the development of the palmar grasp, the infant begins to reach for the object and utilizes a crude palmar grasp to hold them, which then gets developed from ulnar to radial side and becomes digital grasp. Plantar reflex begins at 18 weeks in utero and gets integrated by 6 months after birth. Stepping reflex, it begins at 37 weeks of gestation and gets integrated by 2 months. Premature infants will tend to walk in a toe-heel fashion, while more mature infants will walk in a heel-toe pattern. Brainstem level reflexes, symmetrical tonic neck reflex, asymmetrical tonic neck reflex, tonic labyrinthian reflex, positive support reaction. Symmetrical tonic neck reflex, onset is 4 to 6 months and integration time is 8 to 12 months. Here, forward held flexion will produce flexion of the upper extremities and extension of the lower extremities, and extension of the head produce extension of the upper extremity and flexion of the lower extremities, which is necessary to achieve quadruped crawling. Asymmetric tonic neck reflex, onset is 0 to 2 months and gets integrated by 4 to 6 months. As we already discussed, persistence of this reflex may indicate neurological damage. There is no midline orientation of hands, prone development gets affected and transitory movements get affected. Tonic labyrinthian reflex, present from birth and gets integrated by 3 to 4 months. In supine, extensor tone is present, and in prone, flexion tone is increased. So if this reflex persists, there is no extension against gravity. Prone position. Positive support reaction present at birth and disappears by 7 months. We have already discussed this in red flag sign. Now midbrain reflexes, optical writing reflex and neck writing reflex. Optical writing reflex appears by 1 to 2 years and remains throughout the one's life. Eyes will always move towards the same side of the head. Neck writing reflex, generally present at birth, but at times may appear as late as 3 months. Cortical level reflexes, these consist of all the equilibrium reactions and usually checked on tilt board or rocking board. We should check these reflexes for the development of balance. So red flag signs and primitive reflexes, we should check in normal development. If they persist, we should refer the child for therapy because we give them reflex inhibiting posture to help them inhibit these reflexes and accelerates the normal pattern of the development. Thank you. Just wait.
Can I have a query, please?
Yes, please.
It was regarding the certain things in the last lecture that some parents complain of toe walking and they have no other complaint. Also about W sitting when the kid has no other complaint, not even any high risk factor. So can these be normally present also in some children, and do they have any implications?
Yes, at what age the toe walking complaint is there?
Once they start walking, soon after they start walking, at about or when they start standing with support at about 10 months to 12 months age.
Okay, we can wait for 1 or 2 months, but only thing is we have to observe while walking, they are persistently walking on toes, or in between they can able to walk on flat foot. Matlab they should be able to break that pattern in between if it is a normal child.
But W sitting is anyways not a good sign. So avoid it completely.
We should counsel the parents to correct that pattern of sitting, and we should check for the ham's tightness also. If tightness is not there, only thing is just
Tightness of what? Tightness of what?
Hamstring.
Hamstring. Okay.
If it is not there and it is just the position, only that much problem is there. Initially, we should guide the parents to correct that position. And if they are not able to correct that, then again, we should refer for therapy.
Okay.
Ma'am, can you take in another question right now?
Sorry?
Yeah, go
Can
ahead.
you
Go
take
ahead.
in another question?
Yes.
Ma'am, initially during the high risk clinic follow-up, you'd said that the people who are in between
Right.
atypical and typical, you follow them up after a month, at
Yes.
least if they are above 60%. So
Yes.
how many 1 month visits would you do? If the second visit also it's falling between 60 to 100%. So how many times would you call them back for a month like that? Or would you second time send them to a occupation therapist?
Yeah. Suppose a baby is coming to me at 3 months of age, and I feel that yes, he needs to get followed up after 1 month again. So I will again call him after 1 month. I will check whether I will definitely send him with the home stimulation, and I will call him again after 1 month. At that time,
Okay.
I will assess again. If the child is doing good, then I will call him up at 6 months. If not, then again I will give him home stimulation and I will call him back at 5 months. Okay.
Okay.
So it depends on how the parents are doing home stimulation, how the baby is giving you response, and how it depends on all factors. Okay, so
Okay.
we judge it accordingly. If the baby is doing great, then we directly call him at 6 months. Even
Okay,
though,
ma'am.
if he's showing all typical things, it depends.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And ma'am, I had one more query, if
Yes.
possible. The query is about delayed speech. That is the commonest thing which we face. That जी कुछ बोलता नहीं है. मम्मी 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 तो बोल देता है, but nothing more than that. मम्मी या पापा के अलावा. Even so, if the child normally is not speaking more than that, we after 18 months we think there is some problem.
Yes.
We do hearing assessment and everything comes normal. And what do we do? Many babies on follow-up, they say that, okay, started speaking at 2.5 years. There was no other milestone which was delayed. They started walking normally. They understand everything. They listen very well, just that they speak late. So what do we do? When do we start speech therapy in such babies, if indicated? And how can we just do masterly inactivity and just say, okay, let's see after 1 month or 2 months, and when do we intervene?
Actually, we have a lecture by speech therapist tomorrow. So they will be guide you in much more better way than us.
Today we are just seeing the motor part mainly. So tomorrow you will have speech therapy, then psychologist. So I think the
Ma'am,
early
speech therapist will not be, matlab, as a developmental pediatrician, or as a, if you could answer that question, as
Yes,
more as a
yes.
developmental
Usually,
pediatrician.
according to us, matlab, as the experience, we should wait for 2 years, not more than that for speech. We usually refer by 2 years if not speaking and other things are normal to pediatrician, so that he can decide the speech therapy should be started or not.
Okay, okay.
Ideally, whenever the school starts, the kids, they start speaking more. Many a times the stimulation is very less
Yep.
at home. So if the parents, they are not speaking, the kids will also not speak. Especially it is a problem with nuclear families. So we have to think from all the points, and that then only we can refer the child for speech therapy.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Thank you.
Any other question anybody has? Okay, then this is a high-risk follow-up form which we use in the assessment in high-risk clinic. You can see that we have everything, all the information written on the top, where the main thing is corrected age. We have to assess the child according to the corrected age. Okay, so for 3 months assessment, we have to see in supine positions, all the criteria are listed here, and we write down the score over here. Okay, so for all the positions, we score the baby like this, and for any additional comments, we can write down over here. And at the end, you can see we have all the angles also, which Dr. Sudha Chaudhary has already discussed with us. So also the symmetry you can see. So we have to, for a 3 months baby, whatever is the score, we write down over here. Even though we have called her after 1 month or 3 months, or we have referred, we have to write down in the additional comments. And the reference or the follow-up depends on the score. So if there are more than 50% of A, that is atypical over here, we call the patient after 1 month only. If there are all atypicals, we refer the patient. And there are more typicals, that is very 1 or 2 atypicals only, then we can call the patient after 3 months, directly. Okay, similarly, we have 6 months assessment here. And see, I have shown you all this on slides. Then 9 months and 12 months. I hope I have answered the question. Any other doubts in this? So if at all, if we feel that the child needs follow-up after 1 month, then what kind of treatment we give, that I'm going to come in the next presentation. I'm going to show you in that. Okay, so
Hello.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I just want to ask you, like, how much do you score for each point? Like, you give one each, or how do you
Yes,
score it?
just, no, suppose, see, let's see. So for the baby which we saw
Yeah.
in the demonstration part. So for that baby in supine position, anti-gravity movements were not there. So I will write down T over here. Then for reach, I will write down T. Sorry, anti-gravity movements were not there. So A I will write down. For reach, I will be writing T. Then for grasp, typical, transfer, typical, but foot to mouth was not there. So I will write down A over here. Okay, so for each and every criteria, I will write down typical or atypical. And depending on that, I will call the baby for the follow-up. Is this
Okay.
answer?
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so can we proceed with our next presentation?